Howdy ho, everybody, and welcome back to the Channel Audio Group podcast, the number one podcast in the world for all your visual and audio needs. We got a fun one here for you today. It's going to be the common mistakes that you should avoid during football viewing parties. Now, this is an important one because, as you know, football, professional and college, is kind of back in the swing of things, guys. You may be thinking about throwing a viewing party, and that's totally cool now. After all, it is much more fun to watch football with friends, gathered around the TV together, snacking and drinking while the game is going on. Hey, but don't forget those masks, right? Perhaps you're interested in just inviting a handful of friends, or maybe you're just thinking of hosting a large-scale party. No matter how many people are at your party, you'll have to coordinate some things in advance in order to make a weekend afternoon football party enjoyable. Our company has helped people across all of Tennessee, including football fans in Nashville, throw memorable gatherings. It would surprise you to learn how many small things are overlooked that can take the fun out of a viewing party. In this podcast, we will go over 4 common mistakes made at football viewing parties. Refrain from making the mistakes below if you want to make the football party in your home a banging party. So let's talk about the first thing that you definitely want to be weary of, and that's kicking off the party way too early. Lame. Who doesn't love a good party? Many people in Nashville, as well as the great USA, love watching football games at parties. However, not everybody has the same patience, desire, or passion to sit through 7 hours worth of pregame shows, and that doesn't even include the actual game itself. Whoa! In fact, when you combine the actual game length with the pregame duration, you may end up watching the football for as long as 11 hours in total. Oh my goodness. Although throwing a party for 11 hours sounds fun, the fact of the matter is that it'll be way too long for such an event. There's nothing wrong with starting the party reasonably early to hype up guests for the big game. You can have a couple drinks with them and even some snacks. We suggest starting the party an hour before the game. That way guests have time to settle themselves in before kickoff. Now, the next thing you're definitely not going to want to do is feeding guests party favors way too early. No. Serving food when you're hosting a party? Now that's essential. But a lack of food at a party would be a huge mistake, one you should avoid making. Now, having said that, if you serve an excessive amount of food too early to your guests, this could backfire on you. Bang, bang. The usual go-to menu for viewing parties consists of, some chips, salsa, chicken wings, pizza. Oh boy, I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. Some soda and beer for refreshments. Now, it isn't necessary to go above and beyond with the party food. You don't want to have to order lobster, champagne, or steak, but it'd be tight if you did. Now, the thing is, if you just got a bite-sized finger food, that's gonna be just fine, okay? Ensure that the choices you provide aren't really messy. You want the food being served in waves as well. From fairly light snacks before, and then you start working to the pizza and the chicken wings. Keep that digestive tract flowing. That way, everybody will have something in their stomach by halftime and might even have room for a little dessert, hey, by the 4th quarter. The last thing you want to do is not overindulge your guest, which could result in upset stomach for at least one of them during the party. That is a shame. Protect your toilet. Protect your toilet. Now, another thing you're going to want to be real weary of is serving beverages that are just too strong. Now, alcohol helps people loosen up, before the big game. Not the players, but, it allows guests to let their guard down, relax, act a little silly and fun like we're doing now. However, if the drinks you served are way too strong, behaviors can shift, man, and not for the better. Hard liquor can make guests become unruly. If there's an excessive amount of red party cups available, nothing is stopping those guests from overindulging, especially if it's easily accessible. Now, that's not to say that you just shouldn't serve drinks at a party. However, patrons should have the ability to view the football game in a relaxed and calm manner, man. Overly intoxicated guests can ruin the mood, and especially for those who can't even handle their drinks. Consider just serving some beverages like wine and beer. Now, something else you're going to want to consider, and probably the most important thing, is lacking the proper projector setup or TV. If you're going to enjoy the big game with family and friends, the screen that you're watching on is probably the most important part. Guests won't enjoy themselves if they aren't able to see anything. Showing a football game on a small size screen during a party? Come on, man. Now, your projector screen or TV should be large enough for everybody to watch the game. The more guests you're inviting, the bigger you're going to need, and everything should be thinking big, big, big. If you don't have a screen big enough, consider renting one. Also, determine if the game will be broadcasted from an online source or through your cable provider. Guests should have the ability to watch the game without their views being obstructed. Your speakers should be clear and loud enough for guests to hear the game as it was meant to be heard at a party. If the party is being held outdoors, the game shouldn't be shown while the sun shines brightly. Woo! And there you have it, folks. You are finally ready to host your football viewing party. America. By knowing what you need to know in advance, you can plan the gathering, send out some invites, and host an event that guests will never forget. I just want to thank y'all for hanging out on this latest podcast, and ciao, ciao.